If you don't come with dollars, then you
thank you. Lord, we thank you. Lord, we thank you. Oh, we worship you, Jesus. We worship you, Jesus. Oh, we give you praise. Lord, we give you praise. Lord, we give you praise. Oh, Lord, fill it deep, oh, we give you praise. We say thank you. We say thank you. We say thank you, Jesus. We say thank you, Jesus. Blessed be your name. Blessed be your name. Lord, we say thank you. 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 Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Jesus, we say thank you. Jesus, we say thank you. Jesus, we say thank you. Oh, blessed be your name, Almighty. Blessed be your name, Almighty. Blessed be your name, Almighty. Oh, we worship you. Jesus, we worship you. Jesus, we worship you. Jesus, we worship you. Oh, Raja Barantantele. Malika Baruza Zavalentantozes. Imaro Hadeve Vino Faraza. Melentintin Fafiludunta. Oh, Raza Zaveletis Kavelantum Barante. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Lord, we worship you. Lord, we worship you. Oh, we exalt your holy name. We exalt your holy name. We say thank you. We exalt your holy name. We say thank you. We exalt your holy name and we say thank you. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, Razuvele Malaka Alifa Filufa Razazel Oh, Father, we bless you. Father, we bless you. Oh, we bless you. Oh, we bless you. Jesus, we bless you. We bless you, we bless you, we bless you. We bless you. We bless you, Lord. We say thank you, Jesus. We say thank you, Jesus. Oh, Almighty, we bless you. Almighty, Zadabalade, Barunte, Timbarosi, Malade, Baratosa, Zati, Marante, Filati. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Thanks be the Lord God Almighty. Thanks be the name of the Lord God the Almighty. Oh Lord, we bless you. 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 Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Mekoli na fifin farwazaza. Elepedoza maradini varwazaza tendem veledi. Rabapapato tembrenzo frandas. Sata balanten ten tofu. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Abarosa velenten tipilika barate. The Lord who is the Almighty. The one who is the great I am. The God who is not difficult to be seen. The one who is everywhere. The Bible says even before the beginning began, He was there. Right in the beginning of creation, He was there. Jesus, we thank you. Jesus, we thank you. Oh, we thank you. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. Alate rombele bazuzuvele. Matele barute. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I go, my name, Philip, Farwazazel. Arantipa, Ellen, Tofaranzu, Ika, Atus, Kabbalah, Temba, Zubra, Diva. The Lord who is great and mighty. He is the Shekinah glory. Alaba, Rakazavra, and the Vredo, Zazeti. Ika, Barote, Diba, Rosazalin, Ten, Develop. Lord, we bless you. 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 Oh, we bless you. 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 Oh, we say thank you, Jesus. 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 Rosa filante barota landefelati. Mareketi parusa zabienta parota. The Lord is good and He is worthy to be praised. Oh, bless the Lord, for He is good and for His mercies endure forever. Let everything that has breath Praise the name of the Lord. The Lord blessing. Ayaba arwazate elevantufa ende. The Bible says the blessings of the Lord he maketh rich and added no sorrow. Can we just bless the name of the Lord and say, Father, we thank you. Almighty, we thank you. Yeshua, we thank you. Ekaronde vrazovredem barute ibrazovre and the zuza atete manan tevelati ipratobre azovrahala. Father, we give you praise, we say thank you. Father, we give you praise and we say thank you. Father, we give you praise and we say thank you. Jesus, Jesus be exalted. 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 Bless the Lord for his good and for his mercies endure forever. Bless him for he is the King. Bless him for he is the King and for his mercies endure forever. Let everything that has breath praise the name of the Lord. Oh, Father, we worship you. 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 Oh, higher. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. There's a song coming in my spirit. A song is coming into my spirit. It says, we hail you, we worship you, we hail you most high. Oh, Zavalete, we hail you, we worship you, we hail you most high. We hail you, we worship you, we hail you most high. Most high God of heaven, most high ruler of the earth, most high King of ages, Ayabarosa. Hallelujah to God most high. Hallelujah to God most high. Hallelujah to God most high, most high, God of heaven, most high ruler of the earth, most high King of ages. Hallelujah to God, Hayate Parante, most high. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. More than a mouth can testify, Kalaparo and more than a mouth can comprehend. See how far I've seen the wonders of your grace. I'm so sure that this is not the end. More than a mouth can testify, more than a mouth can comprehend. We've seen the wonders of your grace. We are so sure that this is just the start. Oh, Ezekiel, see how far you brought us. Ezekiel, we are so glad you found us worthy. We can see, we can tell, and we know it's your grace. All our days we will sing your grace. We can see, we can tell, and we know it's your grace. All our days we will sing your grace. We can see, we can tell, and we know it's your grace. All our days we will sing your grace. We can see, we can tell, and we know it's your grace. All our days we will sing your grace. Alikaparu tenende velitu. Eleprezo vini vilutufa. Enfam vemfenu varuata zazaladi barosa. Meloditi nantu ruatata. Enkambarwa zazaliata varuata zazentedi. Ora handi babiaba. Embaradandem va vilutu velitita. Enkanka baruatata. Oh, we can see. We can tell, and we know that is your grace. All our days we will sing your praise. Eleko franda zazileba. Jesus, we bless you. Jesus, we bless you. Jesus, we bless you. Oh, we thank you, Jesus. Oh, we thank you, Jesus. We thank you, Jesus. We give you praise, God. We give you praise, oh God. I thank you for how far you've helped us. I thank you for how far you've helped us. In this intercessory, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for how far you've helped us. Thank you for how far you've helped us. Thank you, Jesus. We say thank you. Jesus, 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 we say thank you. Oh, we worship you. Oh, we worship you. Oh, we worship you. Oh, we worship you, Jesus. Oh, we worship you, Jesus. We worship you, Jesus. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Eneno vevi ruzaratiti menkoko mikaka likavinunta ibaruza zaliendem velediskatu ekabarrantem vevilubra azovre endesuzi. Jesus, we bless you. Oh, we worship you. Oh, Kayana Barate, Rako Maruza Rahadiva Vilut, Ikababarakita Antoskavi, Akalata Palatepa Ambelantento Hilabra, Rako Fredoza Zali Hindabra Andozazi, Matete Letifa Finontaru Azazi, Atotos Kababalate Anzor Hadi. Oh, makabarate de atar hazentel Ibrahando zeti kabarante. Jesus, we bless you. Jesus, we bless you. Jesus, we bless you. Jesus, we bless you. Ah, mafia feoto fele. Razozo vrenden deletika. Oh, karate te branzo vrende. Skababalatin tembaruta. Ora ke tu ate. Akababa bebe tu ta ten teletiki. Ibrazo vrende zaziti. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. Oh, we say thank you. Oh, we say thank you. 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 Akamama rosa zadi veledi. Iba benunta alita arata. Masadia barwa zavele tentendeli. Makarute hele brazo. Sababa rababa etatu zatenteli. Igababa rakete tuskavi. Zetete veledi bambarabi. Masusi fa filudu zadia. Jesus, we bless you. Oh yes, we bless you. We bless you. We bless you. And we worship you. We bless you and we worship you. We say thank you, Jesus. 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 Oh, magake uku fefinu tali. Eleba razazelen temvelediska. Father, we thank you. Father, we thank you. Father, we thank you. Father, we thank you. Oh, we worship you, Jesus. We worship you, Jesus. We worship you, Jesus. We say thank you. We say thank you. We say thank you. Oh, bless God. Bless the name of our God. Bless the name of our God. The one who was, who is, and who is to come. Lord, we give you praise. We give you praise. We give you praise. We give you praise. We say thank you, Jesus. We say thank you, Jesus. We say thank you, Jesus. Oh, we worship you. 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 Arano vevilu farus azalihade de menendum veletuku. Oh, we thank you. We thank you. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be the name of the Lord. For in Jesus' mighty name, we are still praying. Something happened during the course of the week, and during last week through to this week, and God began to open my eyes to see some certain things. There is a level of understanding that an individual would have. It would give them direction. The part of the Bible that says, "My people perish for lack of wisdom." Of course, there is something of such, but there is a level of understanding that an individual would have that people will be envious of him or her. And there are still some people, there is a level of understanding or wisdom they would have. It would just be as, oh, how come such person is knowledgeable? You can be knowledgeable and then be ranting rubbish. You can be knowledgeable and then all your words are not, I don't want to say not accurate, all your words are not impactful. I come in on Rosaville. Can we pray this morning? Can we pray this morning? Can we pray this morning that, oh God, let the eyes of our understanding be enlightened. The eyes of our understanding be enlightened. Jesus. 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 The eyes of our understanding be enlightened. The eyes of our understanding be enlightened. Maliko frende frozo frende shati. Elaka baronten tele de vrazuel. When this kind of understanding we are praying for comes upon a man, certain things bet knowledge, certain things gives us insight. Just a glimpse of some certain things, this individual gets insight. Instruction are being bettered. There is quick understanding. Jesus. Alifra and over azo. Jesus. Maroki kavinon tahali. Zebele duba arwazazi eko meku faratia meleto rwande falwa. That our eyes of understanding be enlightened. Our eyes of understanding be enlightened. Our eyes of understanding be enlightened. Apaparumbembezo. Ifrando sasiti di luca rote marute. Ekabia bambembento veleturwas seti. That the eyes of our understanding be enlightened. That it be enlightened. Be enlightened. Be enlightened. Be enlightened, oh God. Ako mekusu frende zatiti dabai. Rote to rosazati. Zebebele tetebebetoi. Oraki frando rosazalati. Jesus. I go me go for endeavor azuvre endeavor da apa ara de brando brazo akata papa piko kambambarati brando zeti shata papa papa kapake bai eka barra kembroso franda ele de bele boy. Jesus, that our eyes of understanding is being enlightened. That we may understand the hope of the calling. Eyes of understanding be enlightened. The eyes of understanding be enlightened. Kabaruz every and the fellow doors. Zabalati baruntan teledi. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. Ako kumara ande frazo. Zete peleti tu maranten varute. Eko bra azovr ende kalados kozoti. Aki kumamamen toleti karuzi. Jesus. Jesus. Mayaka baba yaba kubarate. Enka garantun tovr ende kali. Ikabaroza zadi varute. Ali varute eledembe. The eyes of our understanding. The eyes of our understanding. Be enlightened. Be enlightened. Be enlightened. They have vision. Yes, they have vision. 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 Certain vision. Certain vision. But this is when an individual has the understanding of that vision, of that assignment. Yes, there is nothing for you to secure. There is nothing for you to secure. Oh, the revelation of God are for those who fear Him. Oh, we bless you. We bless you. We bless you. You are going to be praying for the fear of the Lord. We're going to be praying for the fear of God. The fear of the Lord. We're going to be praying for the fear of God. The fear of God. The fear of God. I'm a Nigerian and I'm able to understand the fact or the aspect of you saying something that, oh, late at night, you're like, oh, dad is back. You come to the conclusion that you are scared of your dad, what he will do to you. Yes, you are scared. You will quickly get the house arranged and the rest. That is because you have the fear of your father. Everything needs to be in place. Can we pray for the fear of God? The fear of God upon this nation. 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 Ekali baruaza. Meretuada baruza alianda faliti. The fear of God. The fear of God. The fear of God. Aliko Rosavella Dishkababi. Meledeva Rate Devra Zuzu Veladishkaba. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. The fear of God. The fear of God. The fear of God. The fear of God. Akalador ambaru apaba bedentobelete. Kasikurundem veletishkaba. The fear of God. The fear of God. Ale govre and the veleti rosa. Zebebele de belebedoranda di rosa. That individual, they would fear God in this nation. People will fear God in this nation. The fear of God. 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 Alakura and the Azobrehende. Ilaru tele de pelotori and Darwaza. A nation that fears the Lord. Yes, a nation that fears the Lord. A nation that makes the Lord its banner. A nation, Akaiko Maminutu and Brezofra Adizazi. Let de Dorohandeba Rakumarato Brahando Brahazo Zadabala de Balababilo Dor Arhababinon Tambelati Sabababa Rababa. Jesus, Jesus, I got to attack. A nation that fears the Lord, a nation that understands the precept, a nation that understands the precept. My God, Allah friendo frazuzu barende. Blessed be God. Blessed be God. For in Jesus' mighty name we still praying. We're still going to pray that as in prayer, but now we are going to be intertwined, changing the perception about the prayer. Yeah, we're going to be taking the prayer in another mode. Because a nation that fears the Lord is a nation that understands the assignment. Yeah, you understand the assignment. You understand what they are facing. They understand what God is here to do in that nation. Holy Spirit, help us this morning. Help us this morning. Help us this morning. Now can we pray that the Lord God will install His fear upon us. That the Lord Himself will install His fear upon us. There is a saying where I come from. It says, if the mountain refuses to come to Muhammad, then Muhammad will go to the mountain. For instance, if someone refuses to come visit you, you go and visit them. So if citizens of this nation refuse to get that fear, God Himself put it the fear in the heart of people. That the Lord Himself will plant the fear. The Lord Himself will plant the fear in the heart of men. He will plant the fear in the heart of men. My God. My God, my God, my God. Liko marandem veluti. Iprazuzu beledeshkabe. Lord, put your fear in the heart of men. Put your fear in their heart. Put your fear in their heart. Put your fear in their heart. Not put it. Put it, God. Put it. Lord, put your fear. Lord, put your fear in their heart. Hey, Galudende. Ibra Azuvra and then Varuta. Zete debele debelukabai. Akatutu tele debele tuta. Radina baruza zaliate. Jesus. 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 Instill your fear, O God, in the heart of men. Instill your fear, O God, in the heart of men. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. Lord, we bless you. Lord, we bless you. Oh, we give you praise. We give you praise. We give you praise. We give you praise. We say thank you, Jesus. Oh, we give you praise. We say thank you, Jesus. Oh, blessed be God. Blessed be God. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I got been on time. From Jesus' mighty name. One of my favorite chapter of the Bible, one of my favorite, is the book of Isaiah 60. Isaiah 60, most especially verse 22, as being one of my key scripture. I bless the day I lay hands on the scripture. But however, I was going through that. Verse, especially, that chapter. And then from verse 19, the Bible says the sun will no longer be needed to brighten the day. This is the Passion Translation. It said, no, the moon to shine at night, for Yahweh will be your unfailing light. Your God will be your glory. Can we pray? Can we pray? Can we pray? Can we pray that Yahweh will be the unfailing light that this nation needs. The unfailing light that this nation needs. Yahweh will be that light. My God, Yahweh will be that light. The unfailing light. He said you will no longer need sun. You will no longer need the moon. Because there is a light. There is a light. Which is Yahweh. I am. That Yahweh will be the light, the unfailing light that this nation needs. Will be the unfailing light that this nation needs. The unfailing light that this nation needs. Yahweh will be. That's who Yahweh will be. That's who Yahweh will be. That's who Yahweh will be. Apostle Paul encounter was with the light. Apostle Paul encounter was with the light, and the light changed the strategy of his life. The light changed the history of his life. Just the light. Just the light. Just the light. We need this light in our nation. We need this light in our nation. We need this light in our nation. That Yahweh will be that light. The Bible says, and the light shine upon darkness, and darkness could not comprehend it. That is the light that we need. The light, the light that would shine in desolate places. The light that will shine in desolate places. The light that will shine in desolate places. The light that darkness could not comprehend. Kalabaruza, you don't get it. The light that is so unique, that will make an individual stand out. That light that will make a nation be known for righteousness. Yes. The light that will make a nation to be known for righteousness. That light, my God. Titutumamate ikrodovre enzezilitaba. We give you praise. We give you praise. For in Jesus' mighty name we still pray. I will further read some other verses so you can understand that truly we need light. Verse 20 says, there will be no more sunset or new moon, for Yahweh will be the everlasting light, and your days of sadness will be over. My God. You can see what this light is doing in this nation. You can see what God is going to make this light to be. You are seeing what God is going to make this light to be. Something mighty, something marvelous. Apapinomelete elebaruante shadidu ruangadendem veletikaba. Ako ono veviu zuzuveledia rabarate zababalante meko oko barandi. Jesus. Oh, you don't get it. It said days of sadness will be over. 21. All your people will be righteous and will permanently possess the land that the Lord planted. I planted them there as a tender sapling, and walk on my own hands to display my glory. And verse 22, which is my favorite, it said, I will multiply the least of you into 1,000, and the weakest one into a mighty nation. He said, I am Yahweh, and when the right time comes, I will accomplish it swiftly. We're going to do two or three more verses, and then we will pray. 3 or more verses. I'm looking for the Message translation. Maranko Frezeli Iskai ta Alembrando Frazo. My God. The Message translation, pick it all the way from 8 down to 22. Okay, he said, you will have no need. You will have no more need of the sun by day, nor the brightness of the moon by night. God will be your eternal life, a life everlasting, a light everlasting. Your God will bathe you in splendor. He said, your sun will never go down. You begin to see dawn of a new day. All you experience is a new dawn. Jesus. He said, your moon will never fade. He said, I will be your eternal light. Your days of grieving are over. He said, all your people will live right and well in permanent possession of the land. They are the green shoot that I planted with my own very hand to display my glory. He said, the runt will become a great tribe, and the weakling become a strong nation. I am God. At the right time, I will make this happen. And guess what? Now is the right time. Now is the right time. Now is the right time. Can we pray for the light, for that light to shine? Whew. We don't get it. The light that put an end to sadness. The light that gives an individual dawn. The light that becomes evidence in the life of a man. You don't need to propagate the light. The light will propagate itself. That is the future of Jerusalem, and that is the future of the United States of America. That is the future of Jerusalem, and that is the future of the United States of America. Oh, Jesus. Malati barozaze. Encantori kababinun taba. Jede belentu radeko zakiti parantembele. Makabi cobra azofra and zazati. Jababalanten toradikaba. En cobra and over azo. Zobebeletem to fraduza rante. Jesus, your light. Let it be evidence. So that when people ask you, what's your encounter like? You met with the light. You had an encounter with the light. Your light tells about oh my God. Some revelation can't be pitched. You can't pitch some certain revelation. Oh, Jesus. Let it show. Let it show. Let it show. Let it show that the light came and tabernacled with us. Let it show that the light reflects in us. Upon this nation, Lord, we want your light. We want your light. Upon this nation, we want your light, God. We want your light. We want your light. We want your light. We want your light. Let your light shine. Jesus, let your light shine. Let your light shine, God. Lord, we bless you. Lord, we bless you. Oh, we say thank you, Jesus. Blessed be the name of the Lord. For in Jesus' mighty name you have prayed. Spirit, thank you all so much. Good morning. The Lord is just laying a lot of burden in my heart. Beyond the light, there's a word. But if we have the light, then we can proceed further to the word. Apostle Paul had an encounter with the light. Then a word came. My God. Apostle Paul had an encounter with the light. Then word came that, hey, you, go to my servant. I prepared a servant. Go there, he will bless you. He will lay hands on you and you will regain your sight. The light first. God will give us vision, understanding, in the name of Jesus. Oh, thank you all so much for joining us this hour. It's been a nice time across our platform. God bless you, and I pray that the Lord God will meet each and every one of us at our point of need. And I pray that as the Lord God has shined His light towards us, that next He will give us His word. He will give us His word. Oh, no, He will give us our word. The word we need at the season, the Lord will give unto us. In the name of Jesus, individually receive your word. Individually receive your word. Individually receive your word. The Bible made us understand. It said a man on his great journey, he gave some 5, he gave some 4, he gave some 1. He called it talent. This can also be a word. This can be instructions. These are just something to ponder on. These are something to do, to be accountable for. The Lord will give you your word. Today is the 29th day of the month of July. I have less than 2 days. Yeah, we have less than 48 hours to wrap up the month of July. God can still do something marvelous because He can still do it. He will do it for you. And He will send you your word. He will send you your word. He will send you your word. The word that will illuminate you. The word that will open your eyes. The word that will give you instruction. It might not be the word that will match your energy, but it is the word that He will give you will be something you will ponder on, and that will take you to your next level. In the name of Jesus. Our Father, we bless you. My Lord, Father, we bless you. We say thank you, Jesus. 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 Oh, thank you for your word tonight. Thank you for your word this morning. Thank you for your grace and your mercy. Thank you for the light. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for how you came through for us in a unique and a dimensional way. Lord, we give you praise. We say may your name alone be praised in the name of Jesus. Thank you, Father, for in Jesus' mighty name we are prayed. And by the way of announcement, I want to sincerely appreciate each and every one of us that was part of this. Yeah. Thank you all so much. God bless you. Just a reminder that this prayer takes place every Tuesday, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time through to 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. Yes, thank you so much. God bless you for joining. You all are super amazing, and I'll see you again next week. But before we leave, can we please just share the grace together? The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the communion of the Holy Spirit rest and abide with each and every one of us now and forevermore. Amen. Surely God's goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our life, and we shall dwell in the presence of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. 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 Thank you all so much. God bless you. My name is Comfort Olamide, and this platform is a platform of prayer. We intercede for the United States of America. It is a place where prayer meets flame. And I pray that whatever it is that you have seek the Lord for, in a time like this, the Lord will answer you. Thank you so much. God bless you. And will see you again.